Look at that setup.
Hold on, I can't see it. Hold on. Oh yeah.
Spectacular. Can you hear us, sir?
I think, yeah, I can hear
Spectacular. Look at that.
you.
Nice little getaway right there.
Oh yeah, I stole it from my indie manager.
Yeah. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I just finished up watching the series of The Boys, so I feel
Oh.
complete.
Now, Vanessa, have you watched all of The Boys?
Yes.
See, I started to watch the new season. I got off the track, so I got to catch up on it. Because I don't feel
No
complete.
spoilers then.
No spoilers. But what we can spoil, I heard through the grapevine that you're also a big Cobra Kai fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just binge. As soon as the third, I think it was the third season. Yeah, it just came out. So I just binge watched that the entire like first night it came out. I was up all night and it was wonderful.
What you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've enjoyed every season. I like the old Karate Kids. I
I
watched
was
that a lot growing up. I feel like they have a good '80s vibe, but then they're also really good at bringing out like modern, like serious, like contemporary vibes. So I like the mixture it has with the new cast and everything.
Did you feel there were some times in this most recent season that it was getting a little bit cheesy, I guess is the way I'll put it?
Yeah, but I look at like if you watch the old '80s movies, like I feel like those are very cheesy sometimes. So I feel like it's like almost like bring out a nostalgia vibe. I mean, I might be you might disagree, but I like from watching like like I like Ferris Bueller a lot. I
Yeah.
think Ferris Bueller is pretty cheesy,
Yeah,
uh,
that's true.
but I still enjoy it because it just brings out a lighthearted, like fun side. And sometimes it's nice just to cringe. It makes you feel something.
I do agree. This is fun. So you're a big Karate Kid fan of the originals.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, are you of the belief that Daniel LaRusso was the bully and Johnny was not?
So I never heard that until after Cobra Kai came out, and then I heard that theory, and I enjoy. So obviously, growing up, of course, I thought Johnny was the bully,
Right.
but I can see that perspective. So I like the two sides of that coin. It just seems like a dumb high school rivalry, and I think we all kind of have like somebody back in high school that we didn't like, and they didn't like us, and I think it's just like a part of life, and I think that kind of makes it cooler. It
Uh,
brings kind of like a realness to it.
it does. And when I was watching it growing up, I felt Daniel was the one getting bullied. But as I got
Hmm.
older and I
Yeah,
take a step back and look at it, I mean, he stole his girlfriend.
yeah,
He jumped them at the Halloween party.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You saw like from watching it more as an adult, it was like you see him as like just being an immature kid. He didn't need to do that. But also being in high school, I think we all know we probably would have done it too. So yeah, but I can see definitely both sides of that coin. I like to think like wrestling kind of represents a lot of like different aspects in life. I was like, not every heel is a bad guy. It's just not necessarily what he's doing is in the favor of the audience.
That's
So
true.
I was thinking during that time you're watching and in that perspective, I think Johnny Lawrence wasn't in the favor of the audience. That's why he was known as such a bad guy.
I like
Now in
that
Cobra Kai,
perspective.
yeah, now in Cobra Kai, you can see his perspective, and maybe Daniel's a little bit more of a heel in your eyes. But again, it's all a matter of perspective. I think Star Wars said something with it. It was like good and evil is just it's just perspective. In the eyes of Anakin, Obi-Wan was a bad guy.
Yeah, it's true. Oh man, geez, I'm not gonna touch any wrestling stuff. All right, let's take the three original Karate Kid movies. Okay,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
one with Johnny Lawrence, two
Hmm.
with he went
Chosen.
over Chosen, and then three with Mike Barnes.
Mhm.
You need to stream one of the you got to stream one of the movies. You got to trash one of the movies, and you have to own one of the movies. So I guess own it on DVD if people still have
Yeah.
those. So stream, trash, own the three Karate Kid movies. Go ahead, sir.
I'll say already, I own all three. But if I had to do it under the circumstances, let's call it, it would be definitely trash number three. I would say Stream number 2 and O number 1.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I don't think any of them really beat the first one. I think the second one was really good, and it was different.
Yeah.
But number 3, I could live without it, and we're not even gonna talk about number 4.
No, we're not.
Nobody talks about that one.
We're not even putting that one on the list. No way. Do you think
They
they'll be... Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, they're actually. I heard that because I watched like the interviews, and what was it? They said that they were contemplating possibly bringing in Hilary Swank into Cobra Kai because they were like, she's technically a part of the universe because she was with Miyagi.
Yeah.
But I'm really, I don't know. I just like we should just let that one go.
Well, they are gonna have another season. They are gonna have that bigger tournament that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see her being the sensei for another group.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that leads me to another great question. Okay. You got to pick one. Cobra Kai, Miyagi Do, or Eagle Fang. You only get one.
It wouldn't be it would not be Eagle Fang, but see, here's the part. It's like, do I want to go face or heel on that?
It's all perspective.
I know. I really like Cobra Kai. Just like you can't like pass up that badass name.
It's badass.
But Miyagi's pretty badass himself. No, I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna do Cobra Kai.
All right, I got follow up.
I feel like that fits me.
I got a follow up too. Are you going? It's kind of a dumb question. John Kreese, Cobra Kai, or Terry Silver? Ooh.
Oh, see, see, that's like a minor heel and major heel in my opinion. We're gonna go Terry Silver because I like the money.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, spectacular. Suppose we can get to wrestling. First of all, if I haven't said it already, thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. You obviously big personality just coming through. So obviously you loved wrestling at a young age. I that goes without saying. I think with everyone that we talk to, how did the likes of HBK, Ric Flair, and CM Punk, how did those characters help cultivate your love for wrestling?
I think like Shawn Michaels is just like that larger than life persona. I don't think I can think of a single other wrestler that really has that, at least in my opinion. So at a young age, he was somebody who I really took to, especially because growing up, my brother and I I have a brother, and we were both really into wrestling at that time. Our favorite tag team was DX. It was the second run, where it was just him and Triple H. And I just remember watching him do all those pranks. And me and my brother ourselves were just like big pranksters in the house, like always trying to scare people and do some stupid stuff. So I just always took a liking to that. But my first my first wrestling match I remember watching was Ric Flair versus Mick Foley. From what I have come to learn now was SummerSlam. I was 3 years old, and it was in a barbed wire match. And that from there on, I was always just super in love with wrestling. And what ended up being cool is when I started getting a little bit older, I started watching all the tapes. And because back then they didn't have the WWE Network, you had to buy the DVDs. So I went and bought a bunch of DVDs, and like come to find out, Shawn Michaels' favorite wrestler was Ric Flair, and at the time, my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels, and up second was Ric Flair. So now I got to watch like two of my favorites. And then just from there on, I didn't get to watch for a little while because, fun story, my brother, Sweet Chin Music, my mom, when we were kids, and broke her jaw. So my mom didn't let us watch for a good couple of years. And then I came back around 2012, and CM Punk it was during that time when CM Punk had dropped the pipe bomb. He was feuding with John Cena, talking about leaving. And that was my first introduction to him. And I remember just during that time in my life, I was going through a very difficult time, and I resonated a lot of what my life was with what CM Punk's life was and is. So it's like it gave me something to kind of just look forward to on a week to week basis. Like even if life was hard, home life wasn't great, I always had Raw and SmackDown to look forward to, and Punk at the time was just a guy I saw myself in. And as I got more into watching, it made me more want to like be a wrestler. And I always had the concept of like what they could do for me, I wanted to do for other people. Like if I can have somebody see themselves in me and give that maybe brief little escape because life's not easy at the moment, then that'd be great. And I was always into what's called the medical field because my mom's a paramedic. So the other aspect of what I do, I enjoy is helping others in whatever way I can, and just putting a smile on somebody's face because I'm being a good guy, or making somebody enjoy watching me get my ass kicked. That's another great thing to do.
I can't get over. I have 3 brothers, and we used to wrestle all the time. We have one sister. She took a lot of the DDTs in that house. My mom never took some sweet chin music, and I'm just picturing it. Like, was she involved in an angle? Did she step in front to protect you? Like, how does that occur?
Yeah, so my mom was like wrestling with him just to be, because my mom's from Detroit and she grew up in a big like wrestling fan family. She used to go to like the WWF events, and she would see Ultimate Warrior and Roddy Piper, which were her favorites. She had fun story. She actually like smacked his chest, and you know how sweaty he is. Yeah. And she had a crush on him, and she said, "I'm never gonna wash this hand." Thank God she did. But yeah, no, she was wrestling with my brother and just on the ground, and he like popped out and said, "I'm Shawn Michaels," and kicked her in the face. But no angle. It was just a nice little shock factor.
For sure.
Shout out Caleb.
Is that one of the main reasons you took your mom on your first ever cruise?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So again, I always feel like once I start to climb up a little bit, there's got to be something to knock you down. And it sucks, but maybe it's just meant for like a way of life, just to humble you. But during that time, it was it was really, really bad. And it was before I was a wrestler, and I had never gone to a live event. My dad didn't want to pay for like tickets to go to those places, and like half the time he didn't want to buy pay-per-views, but my mom would do it anyway. So anyways, my mom was recently at the time going through a divorce with at the time who was my stepfather, and he wronged us pretty well. And my mom was really down in the dumps. I was having to work full time straight out of high school, and I was doing like 9 days on, 1 day off because you couldn't work 10 days consecutively. Yeah. So, and this was like on a like weekly basis. So I told my mom, because she wanted to cancel the cruise because we already had planned on going just as like a nice trip, just me and her. And then she was planning on canceling it because she didn't think we could handle it. I told her that we needed some kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, and wrestling has always been that for me. And so I convinced her to still go with me. And when we ended up getting there, it became a life-changing event. We had a great time. We went to the Bahamas. We met some great wrestlers, some people who I'd grown up watching, some people who I just started watching. And there was even some wrestlers that I didn't like before that I ended up falling in love with watching and respect very much now. And by the time we got off, just with the energy that I had felt on the boat, and just the amazing crowd that, in my opinion, still to this time, I was like, I think I'm on the group chat for the cruise still, and undercover, of course. But everybody says the second one was the best, and I think that I was meant to be on there because everything on it just made me fall in love with wrestling more than I already was. And as soon as I got like off the boat, I told my mom, "This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life," and immediately signed up to go to Flatbacks with Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze. And I paid $500 non-refundable and ended up losing that money because I went to the Nightmare Factory, and which was something that happened after I got off work. and saw it online. And Cody said he was doing his first class, and Cody was another wrestler that I grew up watching and really enjoyed. So things happen for the right reasons. And honestly, if I hadn't gone there, a lot of my career wouldn't be what it is today. That was probably a really boring tangent. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It was great.
Yeah.
It seems like
there's a lot
the light at
that
the
happened
end,
in my last 2 years.
The light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
and your mom being so supportive in this journey into wrestling.
Yeah.
You left being an EMT. You quit your job. You went all in. No pun intended.
Absolutely.
You know,
I know.
Lost a $500 deposit. Seems to be worth it to be part of that inaugural class for the Nightmare Factory.
Absolutely.
So and now we're just what it's October. You just celebrated your 2-year anniversary in the business.
Oh yeah, celebrated the 2-year with an injury. It was great.
Oh, you got injured.
Yeah, very minorly. Luckily, I have a great chiropractor. I got kicked in the face
by your mom.
No. No, she probably would like to, but no, it wasn't her this time. It was it was another wrestler. I don't want to say here just because I don't want to make him look bad. It was an accident. But yeah, he kicked me in the face. It whipped my neck over, so like my whole neck was misaligned. I had to get that popped all back in place. My jaw got shifted, and the guy didn't specialize in jaws, but we've been friends for a while ever since I moved out here and first started. I met him at a gym I used to work at, and so he just brought one of his friends in just on his own time, and he came in and worked on my jaw for 2 days, and we got it back to as good as normal as we're gonna get.
So
yeah, crazy story. I actually had to pop my jaw back in place during the match, and I didn't think I'd have that in me. I'm a tough little dude. As everybody likes to call me, a little dude.
Tough little dude. Well, you've said it. You are a smaller stature, visually, heart huge in the ring. Do you feel that not just for you specifically, but overall for wrestlers of your size and stature, does that hold you guys back? Do people overlook you just because of your size?
Yeah, so I'm happy you asked this because I have a lot of frustration in this aspect, and I have reasoning of why. So I'll get to.
Okay.
Because we do get overlooked, and a lot of people think because we're smaller that we shouldn't be able to hang. Look at WCW. Look at Eddie Guerrero. Look at Bret Hart. Look at Shawn Michaels. Look at Ric Flair. They're not big dudes. And what's called Ric Flair has said it on his own that he doesn't have the greatest physique, but Ric Flair could go 60 minutes and do a better job than a countless big name talents, like star talents. And at the time, people like Bret and Shawn, they were all the smaller guys that they were going out there and doing the best matches. The fact that I think we have that in our history, and we should be paying attention to our history. And people will still overlook the smaller individuals. It's kind of baffling to me, but it's just the world we live in, and you got to deal with the cards you're dealt. And by watching, because as soon as I got done with my first time at NWA, I went back and I watched Shawn Michaels because I just felt like that was what I needed to do. And that's when I first got that thought, because he was talking about how they were the smaller guys. And just seeing the heart he had, that he didn't want to give up, because he went from doing AWA and NWA to go into WWF to try making a name with Marty Jannetty as the Rockers. And people didn't want him there. So then they created some BS and got him fired. And then he had to work his way back. I was like, people don't, I'm not saying right now in NWA people are treating me bad. Nobody is. I'm having a great time there. But just people in this industry don't necessarily want somebody like me to make it big, because who wants to lose to a small guy? Because people think that I don't know how to, it makes them look bad. But at the same time, I'm out here doing my work, and I train with Ernest the Cat Miller. I train at his shoot dojo, doing karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. I've worked with Taekwondo with other people. So I can get in there, and I can everything I do, I always think of how it would be done real.
Right.
because I present myself as a real fighter. I don't hold any belt rankings. I always say that all the time, but I do know how to actually go.
Um, I was gonna bring up Ernest the Cat Miller, very underrated
Yeah.
WCW talent, trainer at one of your trainers at the Nightmare Factory.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, what did he teach you? What resonates the most with you from what he passed on to you and still passes?
So, yeah. Luckily, I still get to work with him at District Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I get to get advice from him on a regular. We catch up all the time. He'll call me up like just randomly, which is amazing because he genuinely cares about his students. And I would say probably that's one of the biggest things tied with the first, which I'll get to next. He genuinely cares about younger talent. And he doesn't, again, perfect example that I just said earlier. It was like he was a smaller guy of his generation.
Yeah.
And like he knew how to fight like for real. He was a world champion of karate 3 times. Now he's a Hall of Famer of karate. And people wanted to pick on him. And that's not a guy you should pick on. But anyways, he will actually put an interest in you, and he wants to see you succeed. Everything he does is for the better interest of you, and I think that's a beautiful thing that's rare in this industry. And I told him I will put him over as many times as possible, no pun intended. And yeah, that's why I actually changed my name to the Dojo Cat because originally I used to go by the Sensation of a New Generation, and maybe I will at some point again, but for now, I want to pay homage to him and carry his legacy. He allowed me to have all the moves of his arsenal. So I haven't pulled out the feliner yet, saving that for a big one. But yeah, the other big piece of advice that he gave to me, and I would give it to everyone that I meet in wrestling, because it was so vital to me to where my brain finally clicked and I started making like bigger moves. He said to me, what is your goal in professional wrestling? This is the first day I ever trained with him. He said, what is your goal in professional wrestling? I said, very stupidly, I look back upon, I said I wanted to get to AEW Dark because we're at the Nightmare Factory and there's a lot of people going, you see it. And like, there's a lot of like envy that comes out of you when you think you should be going and other people are. And he told me, he said, all right, he said, that's not a bad goal. He said, take a look around the room. How many of these people have been on Dark? I was like, a lot of them. He goes, yeah. And he said, that's just here. He said, everybody can get the opportunity to go to the dark, to go to AEW Dark. He said, your goal shouldn't just be to get on television. It should be learning how to stay on television, because if there's nothing unique about you, you're just going to be another guy going, getting squashed. And then it was called going home. Mm-hmm. He said, if you can make yourself stand out and make yourself seem different, then that is the key to having a career. He said, you don't want to just get a job, you want to get a career. So I tell that to everyone. I mean, I still went to Dark and nothing really came out, but it is what it is. The other part of this business, as a side note, they have to be looking for what you are. I've heard that from a bunch of different other people. You know, if they're not looking for a guy who has colored hair, painted fingernails, can do martial arts, then you're not getting the job at the moment. Maybe they will in 2 years, but until then, you just got to keep working on yourself and focusing on you.
Those are that's some you want to not get on TV but stay on TV like that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always he told me that my first day working with him, and it sticks to me to this day. And again, I was like, I'm sure there's probably gonna be some wrestlers who watch this, so I want to pass that on to as many people as possible because I want to see as many people succeed as possible.
For those listening at home or catching it live or wherever they're gonna see this, you talked about having Ernest the Cat Miller's arsenal with martial arts and stuff. Describe to the people that may have never seen you in the ring, whether Dark or NWA, how would you describe yourself? How would your in-ring work, your mic work?
Yeah. So, well, it really at this point it depends because what I found, because I'm also in a tag team called The Business with my tag partner Kay Lieutenanty, and when I'm with him, I am a crazy son of a gun, and I am screaming all the time. I'm in the audience space, whether it be to give me a high five or I'm giving them the middle finger. But yeah, but when I'm by myself, that's when it comes out to be more of a serious character. Because one thing I came in knowing is I didn't want to be taken as a joke. It's very easy for a wrestler with a smaller stature to be looked at, and people were gonna laugh and be like, "Yeah, there's no chance." So when I'm in the ring, that's why I trained into with martial arts. And when I go in there and I'm throwing kicks, like they're real kicks, that's what I trained to do. Of course, I know how to control them, and I do it to the best of my ability to take care of my opponent. Um, but yeah, I throw a bunch of spinning kicks, hook kicks, enzuigiris, whatever there is of a kick. I try to do it. The only one I can't do, not do that Liger kick. Pisses me off.
You'll get it.
Yeah, but yeah, so I do more, and also I'm a big fan of UFC.
Ooh.
So getting in, I wanted to bring some of what they're doing into wrestling, just because I feel they run very similar to wrestling. Look at their what's called the media called gatherings. They go and they have people do promos on one another. Somebody might be coming off more of a jerk like Conor McGregor, and then what's called you might have somebody else coming out and they're being like America's sweetheart, and you're just crying and hoping they win, and then sometimes they'll get shut down, and then it builds more heat for someone like Conor, and then other people get to keep moving forward and being your hero. And I think that's a crazy thing. And like I said, life it represents a lot of different things in life represent pro wrestling. So I wanted to bring in more of a serious sports based feel, just because I want my biggest goal in wrestling is to earn the respect of not only the viewers at home but my peers. And I feel like that's the best way I can do it, because going in and being just too much of a character, it can make you money and it can get you a spot, but having a lower spot isn't necessarily what I'm looking for. I want to be the best I can be, and work towards being the best at what I do, which I have a long way to go, but I'm only 22. So
yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah,
it's the journey. You mentioned District Atlanta. I'm looking at a little promo here.
Oh yeah,
going on, taking on Fearless. I'm gonna botch this. Fearless Musa, I guess.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Fearless Musa.
Yeah.
October 16th.
Yeah.
With your friend Caleb alongside you there. Business Blood versus in a Bones match. Wait, Business Blood and Bones match?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, I'm honestly pretty sure it's just a normal match, but
creative name.
They're just giving it some creative name for the Halloween spirit.
Gimmick.
Yeah, they have a little thing for everyone.
Nice.
I liked mine though. I was like, it kind of looks like blood and guts, so it'd be kind of cool if we could have a double ring cage match.
I mean, that Fearless Musa, he looks dead serious, man. I mean, no crack a smile out of him.
Yeah, I specifically asked to do a singles match for this one because with Caleb and I, we're a little bit more goofy. We're big fans of DX, and at the time when we first started, we were there was a lot of inspiration from like the Young Bucks, Undisputed Era, D-Generation X. So we do have more of like a fun feel vibe. But again, being such a fan of Michael's, I saw like when he was by himself, yeah, he could be really serious, and that was cool. But then when he could also flip the switch, be with Triple H, and they're cracking like dumb, childish jokes, but still be just as serious in the ring. So with this match, I got to have the opportunity with that promo, especially. I got to show more of a serious promo and show more of my edge. And I'm excited for the audience to see it, and I'm excited to be able to share that with everyone on a bigger platform than I've ever been able to.
On the promo quick later tonight. You talked about on the funnier side and the serious side, and you kind of you walk that line. You can do both here or there. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna steal this from Chris Jericho. I'm gonna ask you the big question. It's the big question.
I love Chris Jericho. Yeah,
it's the big question of the night. Sports entertainer or wrestler?
Both. I think, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think what's called it's great to do sports entertainment because it connects well with the fans on, in my opinion, a very easy, what's called what is it, consumable level. If I do something funny and you laugh, that's cool. If I do something like a dick and you hate it, that's cool. It's very easy to see that. But then at the same time, I shouldn't be lowering the quality of my wrestling just because I can do that. If I can give you the highest form of sports entertainment as well as the highest form of like wrestling, like as far as the moves go, uh, then that would make you a megastar in wrestling, like in my opinion. I think a lot of times, because when I first came in, people said that you're either going to be an entertainer or you're going to be a moves guy, and that always bothered me. And I was at first, I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to lean towards the moves because I can kind of do acting. And when I went that one direction, well, then now I'm lacking in this, and nobody cared about me because I'm just doing moves, and moves don't matter. So then I wanted to focus more on getting into the entertainment aspect. And once I started, that's when I came up with the epiphany of, which honestly, when I work with Aaron Stevens, he agreed. He said the same thing to me that I'd already came up with, which made me feel like I'm on the right track. Which was you should do both because that's what's going to make you stand out. And then full circle of that, the way that when you stand out, that's how you stay on TV.
Yep.
So I know I'm somewhere on the right track to getting to where I need to be. But yeah, sorry, it's a long way to answer your question. But yeah, I think that you should focus on doing both. And maybe in the beginning, you'll focus more primarily on one. And that's fine because you're finding your way. But at some point, you need to learn how to do both because that's what's going to get you a job. And the whole point of this is to get a job.
Yeah. And I think Aaron Stevens is the perfect guy, too, because he's got that entertaining side, theater background, like yourself. But can also bring it in the ring. So, no better person to take it from. Have you gotten your hands on Colby Carino yet?
No. I want to so bad. You know what? So he started talking to me more now that I think ever since then. I don't know if it's coincidental, but I do have a very big interest in working with him. From the moment I first watched him wrestle, I felt like I was learning, which was cool because we're both younger guys. And so I feel like having the actual opportunity to wrestle him, I feel like I could learn a lot. And I just think we would have a great time. And I love the way he works as a character. He's pretty funny in my opinion, but he does it in a serious way, which is exactly how I like to do that. Right now, we're in the right parts to where that could happen. I don't know if it'll happen soon, but I am hoping it does happen eventually. I think that'd be fun for everyone to watch. And I'm also wrestling a lot of heavyweights right now, so it'd be nice to get into the junior heavyweight divisions.
Well, I hope you get your hands on him. I hope you can get him in the ring. And I'm putting my money on you because I think he's turned this show down a few times. So, give him one of those swift Ernest the Cat Miller super kick to your mom, right to his face. Do that one for us.
I got you, brother.
No problem. You're first of all, you're easy to talk to. A pleasure to have on.
Oh, thank you.
We are at the end of our show here. This spot, and something we do at the end of every show is I'm going to give you the proverbial mic now. Can put over anything you want, say anything you want. You can bury someone if you want, if that's your cup of tea. I will not interrupt. The floor is yours.
All right. Feel free to, if you're in the Atlanta area, get your tickets for District Wrestling. It'll be, again, October 16th. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at KC_Roxxer, ROXXER. I've been posting links to get the tickets, or you can visit District Atlanta's website, and they have the link in their bio. I'm going to be working GPW the night before. That's over in Jasper, Georgia. So if you're in the area, stop by. I'm your tag team champion. And have a great day and watch NWA wrestling as it's meant to be.
Spectacular. We sure will. Casey, You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Need to plug something, need to put something over. Come on back, let us know.
Absolutely.
For sure. Have yourself a glorious night.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Peace. Have a great night, sir.
That was awesome.
Perfect time.